All right, welcome to the men's call. I'm so glad you're on. And we got a bunch of crazy people here at G5 tonight for this call, and I want to say thank you. You all look great. You look great. I'm looking past you right now to see you on the screen. You look so great. So thank you for being on. Tonight, I'm going straight for it. Can we go for it? Matter of fact, I got so many texts and emails after the last men's call where I talked about narcissism. It was pretty crazy. And so tonight, I'm going to come out fast and in your face. Is that all right? A little lighter tonight. I just want to talk to you about the 10 qualities of a good listener. The 10 qualities of a good listener. Can I tell you, in your life right now, do you know if you are a good listener or a great listener? I think before we can learn how to be a better listener, we might need to know some traits that a good listener would have, but we also may need to see a couple just to be able to ask ourselves, have I ever done this before that maybe I haven't been at the level that I could have been as a listener in people's lives? I will tell you without a doubt, it's probably one of the greatest skills you'll ever possess in your life. I believe that leaders need to listen way more than they talk. They ask us to talk a lot. But the truth of it is, until you listen to somebody and know where they are, you can't really properly communicate to them. You will distribute information, but you will not connect with anybody's heart. So when someone feels listened to, then you're able to make adjustments and add value and give information and grab a heart, not just a hand. If you're on this call tonight, at one point in time in your life, I would vouch to believe that at some point in time in your life, you have been frustrated with the fact that you never felt heard or understood. And I would adventure somebody's had a conversation with you where they walked away going, I don't think they heard a thing I said. So if you ever find yourself nodding along in a conversation only to realize later that you have no idea what the other person said, I just want you to know you're not alone. You're not alone. If you look at your life and it seems in your own personality, it's easy when you're talking to someone to be distracted. And sometimes you miss important details because you're preoccupied with something else. So being a good listener is crucial, both for the personal and professional relationships of your life. Some of us are great listeners at work, and when we get home, we shut down. And I just want to encourage you that make sure that you are the greatest listener in the most important area of your life. So, how can I tell if I need to work on my listening skills? One sign is that you're not really listening if you're always waiting for your turn to speak. If while someone is talking to you, you're not really engaged in what they're saying, you're just waiting for your turn to speak. And instead of truly hearing the other person, you're simply thinking about what you want to say next. Another sign is when you get easily distracted by things like your phone or a TV. If you're constantly checking your text messages or you're trying to catch up on the latest episode of your favorite show or Netflix or news or sports event, it's a good indication that you're not giving the conversation the full attention that it needs. We'll talk about this later, but I would just encourage you to find a place that is quiet when you need to have important conversations. We will give you the 10 characteristics of a great listener in just a minute. The third is when you figure out that I'm really not listening, when you start thinking about other things as they're speaking. Have you ever had a conversation with somebody and you can tell their body was in the room, but their brain was somewhere else? They weren't really listening with what was going on inside of you. You almost felt as if you were having a conversation with somebody that is 1,000,000 miles away. I want you to remember what I'm going to say right now, because one of the greatest ways to increase somebody's value and self-esteem is to listen to them, to listen to what they're saying, to listen to their heart, to listen what makes them cry, to listen what makes them laugh, to listen to the question that they don't even know how to ask, but they're wondering about themselves. So if you want to find out if you're a good listener, ask yourself these questions. Do people feel like they can talk to me and confide in me? I want you to ask that question. Do people feel like they can talk to you and confide in you? The second question is, do people feel heard when they speak to you? Do people feel heard when they speak to you? I want to remind you of this because conflict is not the problem. The problem is unresolved conflict. It's when you're not able to speak and hear and listen and understand and validate. If the answer is no to these questions, we might not be as good as a listener as I think I am. Now, you can always get better and better and better at listening. Understand what people are really saying. What are they really asking? Now, don't ever speak down to somebody and act like you know what they're meaning by what they're saying before they get a chance to explain it to you. So these are the qualities of a good listener that you can learn and adapt right now. These qualities will have you become a better listener quicker than you could ever imagine. Being a good listener is one of the most important skills you will ever possess when you're communicating with your wife or your husband, your children, your coworker, your boss, your customers. Being able to listen attentively and understand their needs and understand their concerns, understand their fears, understand their hopes and their desires, understand their dreams, where you're really on the same page with them. So let's go. We got a lot to cover in a short amount of time. Number one, great listeners make eye contact. They look in somebody's eyes. This is so critically important. Have you ever talked to somebody and while they're talking to you there, and you're going, wow, I hope this experience is as good as for you as it is for me. Because right now, I can tell that you don't really care about what I'm saying. Eye contact is so essential. It's so critical for great communication. We have a lot of classes on how to be a better communicator, and I think we need to be. By the way, if you're going to be a great communicator, remember these three things. Remember what you want people to know when you communicate. Remember what you would like them to do, and remember how you would like to make them feel. Every communication you have with someone, whether you're communicating or listening, remember, there's something you want them to know. There's something you need them to do. You need them to take action on what it is you're saying, what you want them to know. But remember this, always make them feel better. Always make them feel more important. Always make them feel loved and valued and challenge and inspire them. Encouragement is so big right here. I'll slow down so you get these, but in your situation, when you're looking at somebody, you are letting them know that you're present, that you're right here with them right now. I just want to tell you, man, that truthfully, most of our wives don't feel cared for, understood, or listened to. So in your life, good listeners make this eye contact to the person, and they show that they're interested with their eyes. They look them in the eyes. Now, it's not a stare down thing. It's not a, I'm going to intimidate you thing. It's in your eyes, you have this compassion and care that you are letting them know, I have eyes for you, and I see you, and I notice you. The second thing is they don't interrupt. Great listeners don't interrupt. In order to be a good listener, you need to be respectful of the person and be fully engaged in what they're saying. This means not interrupting them. Even if you think you know where they're going and you finish the conversation for them before they have a chance to get out what they need to say. That's how they feel heard, because you took your time and you listened. You let them say it, but you also make sure that you let them know you heard it. Now, there are some times that interruptions are great. Now, isn't this contradicting? If somebody's talking to you and they're sharing and you're going, yeah, oh man, that is so cool. That is okay. Because you're showing that I am fully engaged and I'm excited about what you're saying. And yeah, man, that is so powerful, because everybody you know right now is looking for somebody that will celebrate with them in a success or feel their pain in the middle of their hurt. But if you interrupt before they have a chance to express themselves, they feel very, very much devalued. Number 3, they ask questions. They want to know more about what you're saying. They're interested in the topic that you're talking about. A good listener is someone who is interested in what you have to say, and they will ask questions about the topic so they can understand more. Like, hey, what did that feel like? What did you feel when you went through that? A good listener is not waiting to say something about what they're talking about. What they're doing is they're listening and asking questions about what they're saying. We'll talk a little bit more about this a little bit later. But be a great question asker. I had a mentor in my life that taught me to keep files of great questions. Questions about life, questions about money, questions about leadership, questions about questions. Are you somebody that asks questions? Men, I'm going to ask you to take the lead, not in indicting and interrogating. You're not an attorney, but showing interest in people's lives. If you find out what they're interested in, then let them talk about it. I have a friend of mine, I think he's on the call tonight. His name is Donald Matthews, and I love him, and he loves old tractors. Now, you don't know this about me, but I'm really a cowboy at heart, and I love tractors. And I've got another friend of mine, his name Tommy Harper, and he says he's going to donate a tractor with an air conditioner on it, with a mower on it so wide I only have to take 2 passes on the pasture, and it's other. And Tommy, we're so excited about that tractor getting here. Donald don't really give a hoot about these modern tractors. He loves the old tractors that you got to be a genius to work on, that they don't come with schematics. They just go to work, and he's got a bunch of buddies. But how many of you know, when I talk to him, I put myself in his position of loving tractors. Can you only talk about the things you like? Or can you talk about people and with people the things that they like? I have friends of mine that love guns, and I just love to have talks with them about guns and makers of guns and ask them, have you ever seen a $30,000 rifle? And I love Henry rifles. I think they're cool. I love to collect them. I love handguns, and I love talking to my friends. Now, you may not care about guns at all. Matter of fact, you may even think we shouldn't have a gun, and I'm okay with that. Whatever your position is, you take your position. But what I'm saying here is I'm going to crawl into your world and ask you questions because it's so critical. Do you know, again, you can raise somebody's self-esteem by asking them a question? If you don't believe it's true, tomorrow just pull over and ask somebody on the side of the road, hey, do you know how to go to a certain place? And boy, they always want to help you. People love to be asked questions. It makes them feel valuable. Now, I'm not telling you to be manipulative with this. I would never do that. But what I am telling you, you've got to be willing to crawl into somebody's world. My son loves Star Wars. And I go to his conventions with him, and I've got 1,000 questions for him because all these weirdos are walking around in these crazy outfits, and they're living the life, and they're going, oh, and I'm going like, this is really probably the most stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life, but I'm all in. I like you, Darth Vader. You're amazing. Oh, Yoda, talk to me. I mean, I'm like, yeah. And then every now and then he'll go, hey, will you watch this movie with me? And I'd be like, oh, I'd rather drink cyanide. But if you want me to do it, buddy, I'll crawl into your world and I'll ask questions. And I'm amazed at how his eyes dance over this stuff. It's like some of you men, bless your hearts. Your wife starts talking to you and your eyes roll back in your head and you're going, oh my God, are you ever going to quit talking? Yeah. You ever, their voice just get that way in your head and you're going, yeah. Especially when they're telling you exactly how you need to change. Oh yeah, we're going there tonight. But be smart enough to look her in the eye and go, baby, how would you suggest I do that? Now, you don't even have to be serious. But if you're really smart, you might take out a piece of paper and write it down. Baby, I'm going to write this down because you know what? I want to get better because I want to be better. Asking questions. Have you ever asked the people that you love the most, what do you need from me the most? It's amazing what just asking somebody, how was your day, can do for them. They try to get to know more because I'm going past thoughts into feelings. I want you to hear me. When you give facts, people very rarely remember it. But when you tell a story, they almost always remember it. Do you know why? Because your brain is not wired to remember facts and be motivated. It is wired to hear a story that connects to emotion. That's why you can have conversations on facts and never connect. You have to be careful that when you listen, you're asking the right questions that makes them feel more important, more listened to, more cared for, more loved, more honored, more engaged to do what they do. It's powerful. Number 4, they pay attention. One of the qualities of a great listener is they pay attention. They're interested in what you actually have to say. They make an all-out effort to understand. They don't judge, measure, or critique compare. They listen. Man, this is where we mess up all the time. Our wives will come to us with a question, and we are so seduced by the fact that they're asking us a question, we actually believe they want an answer. To all you men that have done this last week, because you know what? We're tough. We make decisions. We solve problems. Men, don't ever fall for that seduction. If they come and say, I got this problem, you go, oh, well, just tell me about it. And then if you're really smart, you'll go, well, what did your friend tell you about it? And then they're going to tell you what their friend thought about it and what their friends thought about what they said. And you're going to be going, is this about over? No, it's not even anywhere close. Don't fall for that. Listen, validate. If you can help, do it. I'm going to cough. Thank you. Good listeners make you feel heard and understood, and they create a rapport that builds trust. Wow. People judge in about 10 seconds whether they can trust you or not. I don't care what you're doing in life. Don't ever forget this. What you're really selling is trust. Every one of you listen to me right now is looking for somebody that you can trust to do something in your life. Your car needs fixed. Your air conditioner needs fixed. Your TV needs fixed. Your lawn needs done. Something needs to be done in your life. And you're looking for somebody that you can count on. Yeah. Just be a great listener. Number 5, they don't judge. They listen attentively, and they make you feel heard. And everything they say to you, they don't make you feel judged. I'm going to say this to you Christians with me right now. It's so easy to take the sword out and cut people to pieces instead of listening to their pain. Does it ever blow your mind that the woman at the well, Jesus told her everything she had ever done, and she walked back and told everyone, but he left her self-esteem intact? Men, we've got to learn how to do that. Never let an issue get greater than the relationship. And attack the problem, not the person. I want you to hear me right now. If you're facing a problem right now, it's not you against them. It's the problem against both of you. And when you come together and don't let the problem get bigger than the relationship, you will solve the problem because you'll realize you're a team. And it's not you pitting one another. It's not my way against your way. It's us against the challenge that's in front of us. Now, I got to ask you a question right here, right now. Men, how many of you do not want to face the challenge that's in front of you? Because it just strikes fear in your heart. Because you feel like you'll fail. The last thing you want in your life is to answer a question and then feel like that you were insufficient in answering it. So I would encourage you, don't judge. Accept them for where they are. Don't go, why would you ask me such a stupid question? I just encourage you, don't judge. We say there is no stupid question. The only stupid question is a question that is not asked. So in your life, if you're going to be a quality listener, it's an essential skill that both people in a conversation have got to feel heard. And I'm going to ask you men, not as a sexist thing, but I'm just going to ask you to lead in the area of people being heard around you, even if they're off base. Make it safe. No judgment. Number 6, they repeat back what they've heard. A good listener is someone who is not only attentive, but they also understand and effectively repeat back what they've heard. Not in a demeaning, not in a demoralizing way, like, oh, so this is what you said? No. It would sound like this. So I think this is what you just said to me, and I want to make sure that I understand it fully. Wow. That is incredible. So it's an important quality to have, personal and professionally, to be able to be a great listener, to repeat back what was just said to you, especially when it's got a lot of emotion in it, especially when it's got a lot of anger in it, especially when it's got a lot of rejection in it. Do it. Number 7, they clarify. A major quality of a great listener is the ability to clarify. People sometimes, you know this to be true, will sometimes speak their thoughts and they leave out total sections. We assume people know. Because we know all the facts, we think everybody else knows the facts. The truth of it is a lot of people don't understand all the blanks that have been left empty. So this is why you need to, in your life, go and say to them, hey, can I just clarify this? I think this is what you said. I want to make sure that this is actually what you said. Sometimes people take shortcuts in their communication, and they'll use things like, you know that thing back there when? And I'm going, no, I have no idea about that thing back there when. Oh, you know, it was the fan that was broke. And now I'm going, oh yeah. Make sure you clarify with facts. Be loving and kind and gentle enough and strong enough to just get that clarification. Number 8, they give them their undivided attention. A quality of a great listener is they have the ability to give undivided attention. I don't like to have conversations when there are too much going on around me. I try to get to a quiet, peaceful place. I will tell you in your life, if you're going to be a great listener, you have got to get to a peaceful place. I would tell you, don't do it at the dinner table and don't do it before you go to sleep. These are not good times. Go get in a quiet place where there is no distractions and give your undivided attention. Do you know how important your undivided attention is for somebody? I think it's the most precious thing you can give them because it's your life. And when you look someone in the eyes and you get connected with them, what happens is you're able to go deeper and deeper and deeper because you feel connected. Some of us honestly are so angry and so hurt, and we've had unmet needs, so we don't even want to have eye contact. Because truthfully, I've been so embarrassed by what has happened. So I just encourage you, undivided attention. Understand their perspective and build a really strong relationship and a bonding and a connection with them. Number 9, they listen with their whole body. They listen with their whole body. This is so important in your personal life and in your professional life. While it seems easy, the quality of listening is so critically important. I fly on a lot of airplanes. I'm amazed right now at how sometimes the service is incredible and how sometimes I feel like the biggest nuisance just because I asked for a glass of water. Can I ask you a question? Do you make people feel with your body language that they're unimportant, that they don't matter, and that they're not intriguing? I want to say, men, to you with your daughters, when you don't engage with them fully, or your wife, you make them feel like they're unimportant. They're not worth listening to. Put down whatever you're doing and listen. It is probably the most important moment in your home and in your life. Even if what they're saying you don't agree with or you don't even believe it, listen. Listen. Because when they feel validated and listened to with your whole body, they understand that communication is more than an exchange of words. It's an acceptance of I've got you. So I would just encourage you, have you ever had a conversation with somebody and they're like, lower your arms. And don't be defensive. Don't hear with low self-esteem. Just listen. And then repeat. I think this is what you said to me. If it comes time for you, number 10, is for them to know that you're truly interested, then repeat back what they're saying and show them by eye contact, by nodding your head, by taking notes, by asking questions, by saying to them, I want to make sure I fully understand what you said. Do you know one of the greatest needs of your life is to be understood? A lot of us are walking around going, I would just really love to know that somebody understands me. As a leader, if you want to lead people well, don't only connect with facts, connect with stories. Don't only connect with information that they'll never retain. Connect with a story that invokes a feeling, that causes them not only to hear you, but to connect with you. Make them feel like they're valuable and that you are going to serve them and that you're interested in what they're interested in. I just encourage you to take these little simple truths of listening and become the most incredible listener that you can possibly be. I want us to set a goal for the next 30 days, action steps, to not only know to do it, but to actually have the passion to do it. To be able to listen to somebody's dreams and their hopes and their concerns and their fears. And don't try to adjust them. Don't try to correct them. Just listen. And you're going to get a chance to share your heart, your feelings. You can say statements like, well, I just want you to know when you don't pay attention to me, it makes me feel dishonored and disrespected. When you say that with that tone, I honestly feel like I'm a piece of dirt. But I understand. The Bible says that a soft answer turns away wrath. A soft answer turns away wrath. It says agree with your adversary. It doesn't mean they're right. It just means, okay, I'm going to agree with you. And then let's go for a higher ground. Hey guys, man, I know I've got some ladies on the call tonight. I'm so glad you're on here. Let's take these principles. Let's go to work. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to private message me or email me, whatever you got to do. If you got my number, text me. I want you to tell me the success stories about you becoming a better listener. Here's what I'm looking for. Relationships that get better. You get a sale that you would have never gotten before because you made a customer feel important. And you stopped trying to sell them what you sell and you started trying to meet needs. That is so huge what I just said. Most people are going, well, this is what we have. And I'm going, tell me what you need. And then you can say, well, we can work on a solution together for that. Hey guys, great being with you tonight. Charge. Keep listening, man. Listen big. Charge. All right.